The Galactic Council chambers buzzed with the usual pre-session chatter, a cacophony of clicks, whistles, and synthesized voices that Lewis had grown to tolerate over his 3 years as humanity's chief engineer aboard the Nexus station. He stood near the observation deck, watching the swirl of alien dignitaries with the practiced disinterest of someone who'd seen too many political games. "Another waste of time," he muttered, adjusting the neural interface behind his ear. The device translated the incomprehensible alien languages into something his brain could process, though it did nothing for the headaches that followed these marathon sessions. Emperor Vexthor of the Zynthian Empire arrived fashionably late, as always. His crystalline form refracted the station's artificial light into dancing rainbows across the polished floors. Behind him, wrapped in layers of ceremonial cloth that seemed designed to obscure rather than adorn, walked a figure that immediately drew whispers from the assembled delegates. "Is that Princess Anna?" "Yes. The fat one. I heard he's offering her as payment for the engine repairs." "What an insult to humanity." Lewis's jaw tightened. He'd heard the rumors, of course. The Zynthian Empire had suffered catastrophic engine failure on their primary world ship, and they needed human expertise to fix it. Humanity's gift for understanding machines was legendary across the galaxy, a peculiar talent that had elevated Earth from a backwater planet to an indispensable member of the Galactic Council in just 50 years. But the Zynthians were proud, too proud to simply hire a human mechanic like any other species would. No, Emperor Vexthor had to make it a political arrangement, a cultural exchange, and apparently, he thought sending his daughter, the one he openly mocked in court for her appearance, would be a suitable joke at humanity's expense. Lewis studied the princess as she moved through the crowd. The Zynthians were typically tall and crystalline, their bodies reflecting light in ways that their culture considered the height of beauty. Princess Anna, however, was shorter, rounder, her crystalline structure more opaque than translucent. In Zynthian terms, she was considered grotesque. In human terms, Lewis thought she was fascinating. The meeting concluded with the expected formalities. Emperor Vexthor barely looked at his daughter as he announced the arrangement, his tone dripping with contempt. "My daughter, Princess Anna, will accompany the human mechanic Lewis to repair our world ship. Consider it a gesture of goodwill between our peoples." The other delegates laughed, some openly, others behind their various appendages. Lewis saw Anna's shoulders tighten beneath her robes, but she said nothing. The shuttle ride to the Zynthian world ship was silent for the first hour. Anna sat across from Lewis, her face hidden behind a crystalline veil, her hands folded in her lap. Lewis focused on reviewing the technical specifications of the ship's engine core, though his eyes kept drifting to his silent companion. "You don't have to wear that. You know," he said finally, gesturing to the veil. "Not on my account." Anna's head tilted slightly. "It is proper," she replied, her voice carrying a melodic quality that the translator couldn't quite capture. "I am told my appearance is disturbing to most species. Most species are idiots." The princess went still. Then slowly she reached up and removed the veil. Her face was indeed different from the typical Zynthian, rounder, with crystalline structures that formed something almost like cheekbones and a nose. Her eyes were a deep amber color, swirling with patterns that reminded Lewis of Jupiter's storms. "You're not what they say you are," Lewis said, meeting her gaze directly. "And what do they say I am? Ugly, worthless, and embarrassment." He leaned forward. "They're wrong on all counts. Your crystalline structure is denser than normal Zynthian biology, which means you're probably stronger and more durable. The opacity means you absorb and store light energy more efficiently, rather than just reflecting it. And those patterns in your eyes?" He gestured to his neural interface. "My scanner is picking up electromagnetic signatures that suggest advanced neural processing. You're not flawed, princess. You're evolved." Anna stared at him, and for a long moment neither spoke. Then something remarkable happened. Her crystalline body began to glow with a soft inner light, pulsing gently like a heartbeat. "No one has ever..." She paused, her glow intensifying. "You truly see it that way?" "I'm a mechanic, princess. I see how things work, not how they're supposed to look. And from where I'm sitting, you work just fine." The world ship's engine core was a disaster, just as Lewis had expected. Centuries of poor maintenance and the Xinthian tendency to prioritize aesthetics over function had left the primary systems in shambles. But as he dove into the work, he discovered something unexpected. Anna was brilliant. She didn't just assist. She anticipated. When he needed a tool, she had it ready. When he explained a concept, she grasped it immediately and often expanded on it with insights he hadn't considered. Her denser crystalline structure allowed her to reach into tight spaces and manipulate components with a precision that left Louis genuinely impressed. "You've studied engineering," he said on their third day. Covered in coolant and grinning despite the exhaustion, Anna's glow pulsed. He'd learned that was her equivalent of a smile. "My father forbade it, said it was beneath royal dignity, but I accessed the educational archives in secret. I've always loved understanding how things work. Like father, like daughter, except you're actually good at it." They worked in comfortable synchronization, their conversations ranging from quantum mechanics to philosophy, to the absurdity of galactic politics. Louis found himself looking forward to each day, not just for the satisfying challenge of the repairs, but for Anna's company. On the final evening, as they completed the last calibrations, Anna's glow dimmed to something softer, almost vulnerable. "When the repairs are finished, I must return to the palace," she said quietly. "My father will find some other way to hide me away. Some other use for his fat daughter." Louis set down his tools and turned to face her fully. "Or you could stay." "Stay? Humanity could use someone with your skills. We're building a new generation of ships, incorporating technology from a dozen different species. We need engineers who can think across cultural boundaries, who understand both the science and the art of it." He met her amber eyes. "We need you. I need you." Anna's body flared with brilliant light so intense that Louis had to shield his eyes for a moment. When it dimmed, she was trembling. "You would want me, even knowing what my people think of me? Your people are fools. And yes, I want you, as a partner, as a colleague, as—" He hesitated, then forged ahead. "As whatever you want to be. You're not a joke, Anna. You're exactly what I wanted, even before I knew I was looking." The princess stepped closer, her crystalline hand reaching out to touch his face. Her touch was warm, almost hot, and Louis realized that all that stored light energy had to go somewhere. "My father will be furious," she said, but her glow told a different story. "Let him be. He sent you as an insult to humanity. Joke's on him. He just gave us the best engineer in the galaxy." Anna laughed, a sound like chimes in a windstorm. "Then I accept. Though I should warn you, humans are fragile creatures. Are you certain you can work alongside a Xinthian who runs 30 degrees hotter than your comfort zone?" Louis grinned. "Princess, I'm a mechanic. I've worked in plasma forges and frozen vacuum. I think I can handle a little heat." 6 months later, Emperor Vexthor received a formal communication from Earth's embassy. His daughter, it informed him, had been granted human citizenship and had accepted a position as chief engineer on humanity's flagship vessel, the Determination. The accompanying image showed Anna standing beside Louis, both wearing matching engineer's coveralls, her body glowing with undisguised joy. The Emperor's rage was reported to have shattered 17 crystal chandeliers in the palace, but aboard the Determination, as Louis and Anna worked side by side designing the engines that would take humanity further into the cosmos than ever before, neither particularly cared what the Emperor thought. Sometimes the best revenge was being exactly what you were meant to be, and finding someone who saw your worth when the whole galaxy was blind.